Welcome to our live look-in of the very first race sponsored by Appalachian Sucker Punch, the new entitlement sponsor for the ASA STARS National Tour. We are at Pensacola's Five Flags Speedway. I'm Jim Trado along with Adam Mackey and Charlie Krall. This is the second practice of 3 today. Share with your friends right now. You want to go to Facebook Live and watch what's going on, but we also want you to tune in tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon on tracktv.com for our live or on-demand coverage. And Adam, we've had one practice thus far, and you said there's some pretty exciting headline makers that we may not have expected from first practice being quick.
Hey, Canadian Nicholas Nagel on top of the board in the 08 car was fastest in practice. That first session we had earlier today. Stephen Nasse was second quick.
Wait a minute, he doesn't go anywhere fast at the beginning of anything.
No, just in the race.
Race weekend, qualifying.
Yeah. Practice and qualifying, not his forte. Well, maybe it changes this weekend. He was second quick in earlier practice. Dawson Sutton was third. Gavan Boschele, Colby Howard were the top 5 in the practice session. There was the fast car from today's earlier practice. The first time they were on track this week. Nicholas Nagel in the 08 car on track right now and trying to match the speeds that he turned earlier today as he looks forward to tomorrow's qualifying and 200-lap race.
And what's impressive is Nicholas Nagel has only raced in one Snowball Derby last year in December, and he's only raced 2 ASA STARS races, both at New Smyrna Speedway down here in Florida. But this is impressive to see him this quick out of the box in the 08.
Absolutely. Car looks good here at Five Flags Speedway. What a weekend we have with the ASA STARS National Tour. Appalachian Sucker Punch coming on to be the title sponsor of the series in recent weeks. That's a big announcement for the series, and they've got a lot of involvement in racing in general.
And we're part of the growth and the launch of the Appalachian Sucker Punch brand. It's out of Virginia. It's available at Food Country USA food stores. You can find out more about it online, but it's a really cool opportunity to have short track racing, motorsports, and the ASA STARS National Tour help launch this program nationwide. So we're kind of on the cutting edge and the leading edge of what's going to be some great coverage and some great interaction and some great engagement with fans across the country by using the ASA STARS National Tour among other platforms.
Former Truck Series and ASA National Tour champion Johnny Sauter on track of the Richie Waters number 5 car. He had bad luck at New Smyrna Speedway for the season opener. Had something break on the number 5 and ended up into the wall. Here, much better start to the weekend for Johnny Sauter.
And our Charlie Krall started out the 2025 season covering Austin Nason. He had some struggles as well at New Smyrna Speedway, finished 13th there. But Charlie, what's Austin Nason saying now in his return to Five Flags Speedway?
Well, Jim, we're about to find out. Austin, cars are already out on the racetrack. You're just kind of back here checking out timing and scoring. What's your plan here for practice number 2?
Everyone had to put new tires on there, so we're kind of just waiting. You got the ARCA rubber down, so kind of hoping to go out later tomorrow. So we're kind of going to wait till a couple of these cars get some of this rubber knocked off and see if we can go out, pull a lap off, and see what we can do. I feel good with the car. We only got a couple laps there. We had a clutch issues, so hopefully we got it figured out, and hopefully we can be fast the rest of the weekend.
So we've got the ARCA race coming up tonight. We don't have any more track time after that race until we qualify tomorrow. How do you expect qualifying conditions once that race is done here this evening?
Yeah, no, that's kind of why we're waiting. Like I said, just get the rubber knocked off because tomorrow's going to be a totally different racetrack if you go out early. So we're hoping to be fast here today and put ourselves at a contention to be at the back of the qualifying order tomorrow. So that's what we're going to try.
Jim, I'll tell you, Austin looks like he's smiling because he knows it's 72 degrees here and it is chilly back home in the Midwest.
So there's a thing called bump day in Indianapolis, to your point, and he's going to wait a while. We're going to wait till he has to get in that car to get a few laps in. Number one, at his advantage for 2 reasons. Number one, less laps, tire rubber on the racetrack for the Hoosier ST1s on the left, ST3s on the right. And the second advantage is for Austin Nason, having fewer laps today. He's going to be okay with that car. He's basically going to try to do like a rundown and a check. It's almost like his last 4-lap run at Indianapolis to get a better qualifying time. He knows he'll have a car good enough to be in the show. But it's interesting how they're working through it, and that's his strategy. Jake Finch back with us here, the Phoenix Construction number 51. 2 cars have Phoenix Construction on the quarter panel, and like I planned this, the other one is on track now, the 26 of Bubba Pollard, a 25-time winner in the Blizzard Super Late Model Series. That's the 4-race or 5-race, 6-race, 3-race series they run every year here at Five Flags Speedway. For the super late models, they keep their own point series, and this is a point series race, Blizzard race number 1 for the series. And Bubba Pollard on the racetrack, and he's going to do amazing things here. More people have seen him race the last 17 Snowball Derbies than just about anybody else here in the grandstands.
Bubba Pollard in the practice earlier today was pretty sporty. 6 quick out of the 30 cars on our entry list for tomorrow's Sunshine State 200. Presented by Appalachian Sucker Punch. There's one of the young drivers behind one of the Anthony Campy racing cars.
The Pay Cafe Chevrolet, the number 81. This team, in all honesty, is the team that went to win the championship last year in the ASA STARS National Tour with Casey Roderick behind the wheel. This driver, 16 years of age, racing full-time this year with us, crowned a championship last December by winning the Pro Late Model Series Championship here at Five Flags Speedway. So his weekly racing was here in a Pro Late Model at Five Flags. So Carson's got a lot of hopes, I'm guessing, a lot of fans as well, as he's gathered through the season on his way to a championship last year. Charlie, what else you got on Carson? All right, we'll get back to Charlie here in a minute. He's corralling the entire infield of this quarter mile. There are 4 or 5 divisions here racing last night, and including today. We've got a big weekend here, a 3-day weekend.
Absolutely, a great season opener last night. Season opener last night was huge, as we had a good field of cars for the local opener. We had Pro Trucks, we had Outlaws, we had Sportsmen.
Crown Vics.
Oh yeah, it was
the Crown
great
Vics
show
here. And Outlaw Late Model Racing, I saw a whole new dimension yesterday. A dirt late model roof on a wedge-bodied Outlaw Late Model here, driven by none other than Stephen Massey.
Yeah, he finished 4th last night.
Yeah. Different look. A lot of guys want that teardrop bubble around the driver's compartment. His was a full-on, full-size, give me all that flat panel roof of a dirt late model body. Kind of cool.
Connor Jones making his way to the pits in the 44 car.
He had speed, blazing fast speed at New Smyrna Speedway during the entire run of the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. Did Connor Jones in both Pro Late Models and Supers. Another driver in this number 18 to watch is Colby Howard. He is committed to racing in 2025 in the ASA STARS National Tour. Now the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA STARS National Tour. Colby had a run racing for the lead at New Smyrna Speedway. That's how strong this team came out of the box here in February in Florida. A run-in with Ty Majeski halted his efforts, and the number 18 team with Colby Howard out of South Carolina ended up in 15th in that race.
Car that was not on track earlier, this 22 of Buddy Shepard, did not get on track for that first practice earlier today, or didn't have a transponder when he did hit the racetrack earlier this afternoon.
I was in the pits during the first practice. It was the first thing kind of like for these teams to get acclimated. And he almost got the wall there. Buddy's raced here before. The California driver that's really, really good, the defending SRL champ, he's getting a little bit of a wiggle there off of turn 2. He was himself working on this race car. It was on all 4 jack stands. They were working on the rear end. They had the hood up. There's a lot of things they worked through potentially to get the car. Maybe they saw an issue and they wanted to make sure they worked well through it for Buddy and his return here to Five Flags Speedway.
Winner of the Clyde Hart Memorial, the number 24 of Gavan Boschele. Gavan Boschele was top 5 in practice earlier today. Boschele looking for a lot of success on this tour, and man, what a start he had at New Smyrna, picking up a win as a 16-year-old against a talented field of racers in super late model competition.
We have to officially say he was 15 years and 364 days old when he won that race. His birthday was the day after. This is a 17-year-old out of Washington, Northwest Super Late Model Series champion. Casey Klein drifting all the way through turn 4.
Man, we've seen a number of cars here in this practice session really fighting the car a little bit. Casey Klein, one of those.
The 58th running of the Snowball Derby is coming up this December 7th. Last December, Casey was here trying to make the show, had some issues, didn't make the race, but he got some seat time here in a super late model. It was important for that team to be here. They didn't compete in the big show. Other teams went home as well. But Casey had a little bit of a taste before he got back here with the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA STARS National Tour this weekend.
Practice continues here. They have a 30-minute session later today when the fans hit the grandstands for the ARCA race tonight. And ASA STARS National Tour final practice from 5:30 to 6 this evening. Right before the ARCA Menard Series East autograph session on the front straightaway, and then their race is at 7:30 tonight. If you're in the area, get out to Five Flags Speedway.
If you're within 4 hours, put us on your mobile device and get in the car and go.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 hours away from race time, we still got time to get here to Five Flags.
Get here. It's going to be a great night. The weather, it's worth being here just to go outside and enjoy the weather.
So I looked at the weather forecast. If you look at the weather, it was wrong. At 9 o'clock this morning, I was already in a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful weekend to join us here at Five Flags.
There's the other 22 car, one of the full-timers, Pepperjack Kennel Rookie of the Year candidate, the number 22 of George Phillips, another teenage driver. Wilson Motorsports entry.
And this is the car and the team, on paper, at least with the car number on the door, that Gio Ruggiero raced the last 2 years in the ASA Stars National Tour. Gio now a full-timer in a rookie campaign in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Saw Phillips go around the car that was coming on to the racetrack on the berm there. It was the 112 Augie Grill's ride, driven by Dustin Smith. We'll see him this weekend competing in the Augie Grill car.
So we see the Phoenix Construction 51 of Jake Finch. Brings back memories here to the Snowball Derby. Oh, contact. Derek Kraus. Derek Kraus up in the Racing Electronics restart zone. Left rear does not look like where it should be. Holy cow. Another one of ASA Stars National Tour Platinum drivers.
Left rear tires down. We'll see if he made any contact. We're not 100% sure. Car looks to be okay on the right side.
Left rear looks down. Can't see any other physical damage just yet.
So Kraus, we believe he kept it off the wall, but definitely losing the left rear, which may have caused the spin. First yellow during practice today, and here it is.
We have the replay. Yeah, that tire's down already. He's just trying to get up and out of the way to get it off.
Nicely done. That's a nice save.
Yes. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
All that speed going into turn number 3. One more look here. Going to turn 3. The left rear is going down, and he literally felt it. And watch what he does here. Instead of spinning down or trying to manhandle it or try to get the pit road for some reason.
I think something may have broken on
that
the
left rear. Looked like it moved a little bit in the fender well. Yep. And now it's way tucked under. More than the tire, but the tire did go down. And I think that was down before he spun. Yeah, it's down now before he takes the spin.
So Kraus and this team, one of the full-timers with the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour, loops it around with a left rear down.
And this is the updated chassis that they raced during 8 consecutive Snowball Derbies. This car has had a lot of history here. It's been updated. It's in the off-season. Did a lot of geometry work with Toby Noodleman and getting that car righted. That's the crew chief that has built chassis most recently for drivers like Derek Kraus out of Wisconsin mainly. And that Derek is looking it over again. He and his dad Mark do a lot of work on this car themselves. It's an effort they're going to put forth here this year, committing to the entire ASA Stars National Tour this year. Yeah, that left rear, good call. Just that fender well. You can kind of see that wheel kind of moving forward and then moving inward on the chassis as he spun it out.
And resulting in the flat tire that sent him around. But again, a good save for Kraus to keep it off the outside retaining wall and minimize the damage for the number 9 car from Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm hearing everything he's saying, which is okay. But
Colby Howard quickest in practice right now, 16.613. Brown second quick in practice so far. So the Campy cars very fast in the second practice session here, as it's Howard, Brown, Steckley, Craig, and Butcher.
So Carson Brown raced an Anthony Campy car last year, I believe, in the Pro Late Models all year long, correct? And the Snowball Derby has a Snowflake 100-lap race for the Pro Late Models. That's the season ender, but it's a big race where everybody around the country that can run a Pro Late Model comes here to make the big show. That car was pitted with Anthony Campy's efforts. It was an Anthony Campy fielded car. So I'm just excited to see what this kid can do to Super, because he's done everything right thus far in his racing career at just age 16.
Such a talented young group of Pepperjack Kennel's Rookie of the Year candidates this year with the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour. It's going to be fun to watch. And, of course, one of those rookies finding victory lane at the event at New Smyrna.
I had a chance to talk to Gavan Boschele after the first practice. We had a little sit-down. We hope to get to see you. We're teasing it now, because tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, watch on Track TV, our coverage, flag to flag, on tracktv.com, the official home of all things official and live with ASA's letters attached. I got a chance to ask Gavin any question I wanted to. And this kid has a lot going on. He's raced up to 100 times a year, 126 times, he told me, in 1 year with 3 different cars, a micro, a midget, and a sprint car. He loves wing sprint car racing. But he said these super lates, man, there's a lot to him, and he just enjoys the challenge. And I was really impressed, most importantly, with that big victory at a New Smyrna Speedway, and you've been there for 15 straight years, Adam, how much speed he kept in that car. A lot of guys want to go after it, and they burn the tires up, or they don't have what they need at the end of the race. He had proven performance and had something for him at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. He was hooked up. The car, long run, short run, he had the speed. Gavan Boschele winning the season opener back in February as part of the World Series.
And when we come here to Five Flags Speedway, we hope to see in some form or fashion Augie Grill. The number 12 on the door. There's a little 1 in front of it now. That's been Augie's style and number for a while. It's Great American Racing Chassis. He has Dustin Smith behind the wheel of his 112. But it's great to see Augie was able to race on Snowball Derby weekend this past December. He had some health issues, and it's great to see Augie this involved still. And he's part of the fabric as a 2-time Snowball Derby champion, but all the time and effort put here, I expect to see this car, and I'm glad to see it here again this weekend.
Dustin Smith rolling onto the raceway with it in the 112. Dustin Smith out of Mobile, Alabama, has raced plenty of events right here at Five Flags Speedway in his family-owned number 33 car. And he gets up to speed as we're back underway. Practice continues here at Five Flags Speedway for the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour.
Yeah, Dustin finished 12th in the Snowball Derby this past December, so there's a lot that Dustin can build off of with Augie's experience in laps here and Dustin's recent success with his family team. Put that Ford Mustang through its paces as we see in the split box here on our free look-in. Left rear tire down, and Derek Cross did climb back in the car to get a ride back to the pits to try to get this car righted. Again, there's only one more practice. That's it, right?
Yep, one more practice today coming up just before the racing program tonight here at Five Flags. So a tight schedule, just a couple hours total, I believe, in practice time for the super late models. Tomorrow, they have their tech inspection early in the day as it's qualifying tech at 9:30. Then they go qualifying at 12 noon.
That's Central Time.
That is 12 noon Central Time. And then we'll be obviously live at 1 o'clock Central Time for pre-race on Track TV for those that can't make it to the track tomorrow. And then the racing action just after 2 o'clock.
I can't believe I'm really excited for this race.
What a show.
It was the debut of the ASA Stars National Tour 2 years ago, and now we come back with the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA National Tour for the race number 2 of the year at a beautiful racetrack with so much history. You know, if you win here, it's a big deal. 200-lap races, 300-lap races, it's a big-time showcase for your talents to get noticed, and a lot of these drivers are looking for that next opportunity. Jake Finch is in pursuit of that. He's won in ARCA. He raced in Daytona at ARCA this past January or February. But guys like Jake Finch, what have you done? He's won an Outlaw Late Model Championship here. He's gotten a chance to run super late models with other teams and his dad's and Ronnie Sanders. I mean, there's a lot to it to race well here.
Send it down to Charlie, who's with Derek Kraus. Charlie?
Thanks a lot, Adam. Derek, putting a new left rear on this number 9. What happened out there?
Just blew left rear. We were pretty lucky, actually, but I think we got some good speed in the car, and I think we'll be fine.
Had to be a handful out there losing that tire going down the backstretch at full speed.
Yeah, for sure. We're really lucky that the car's in one piece, and we'll be able to continue on this weekend.
All right, Derek Kraus still confident he's going to have a pretty good car once we go back, get him back out of the racetrack here, guys.
Spotted tire guru Jason Hack back there, and they even brought Riley Stengham off the day job as an engineer back in Wisconsin to come down and help out his buddies. So there's some cheese heads in the pits of Derek Kraus's efforts. Great to see those guys here, and they have a lot of fun, but they know how to get it done. They work hard on these race cars. And Matt Craig and his brother and his dad Jeff, man, they're always working hard. And great to see Matt Craig, the North Carolina driver, back in an ASA Stars National Tour race.
Yeah, Craig, a talented racer anywhere we go, and he doesn't run full-time with the series mainly because of their family-owned business, their work commitments. It's just too tough to get away for all 12 races, but he would be a great addition if he were a full-timer with the series. And right now he is in the top 5, 5th quick for Matt Craig currently. We've had how many on track? 28 drivers have hit the track for practice. It was a slow start. We only had a few in line whenever practice began here. And they've continued to come on track, and just about everybody's made it out there. Matt Craig, the one we're watching here from North Carolina.
The CNC Boilers Chevrolet. Matt Craig, we know how fast he can be here. We've seen it year upon year. And Adam, you've been also part of the Snowball Derby coverage. That has become what everybody culminates to do. They spent months here. There's drivers from California that are racing this race that have been here 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a blizzard race to get ready for what they say, I've got to get ready for the Derby. It starts at the beginning of the year and it goes throughout the entire season. Matt Craig has been part of the plan and part of the process of doing just that. So his laps continue to click away here for Matt Craig. The driver has been in the last 6 Snowball Derbies and trying to make his 11th ASA Stars National Tour start on Sunday. We're stepping away from Five Flags Speedway in our coverage here of the practice session number 2 on Saturday afternoon. We'll be right back after these words.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Nortec Equipment are committed to helping you empower your landscape projects with our line of soil processors for tractors, skid steers, and mini skids. Based out of Wausau, Wisconsin, Nortec Equipment products are proudly made in the USA. Our products deliver expertly engineered equipment at competitive prices that are tailored to meet the diverse needs of the turf, landscape, construction, and agricultural industry. Give us a call today at 715-393-4458. Nortec Equipment are proud sponsors of Frederickson Racing.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it, one roof at a time.
Welcome back to our live look-in. It's a freebie. We want you to be part of what's going on. It's called the ASA STARS National Tour. Every one of our races, this is the second of 12 through November, are going to be at tracktv.com. Buy the monthly subscription or buy the year-long subscription. It'll be well worth it. All the races, last 3 years of coverage here on the ASA STARS are all there for on-demand viewing. Every ASA STARS race, every race you want to watch, every race you want to care about when it comes to STARS National Tour, the CRA Super Series, the Southern Super Series, they're all here on Track TV.
Former runner-up of the Snowball Derby right there, the number 35, winner of the All-American 400, Jake Garcia.
What was he doing last night? I was trying to catch all things. You were here for the local show. I was catching the local show for a while, and I didn't have the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race on, but I know Jake Garcia, in this number 35. What a pretty impressive run, scoring stage points on a 7th-place finish last night in Homestead Miami Speedway.
Same state, but it's a long way from here.
Big time. We're in the top, and that's the bottom. That's like Key West, plus 20 miles. Yeah. I've been there. It's a long way to go.
Jake Garcia currently looking for speed during this practice session among some of the slower cars right now. 26 quick for Garcia, and if there's somebody that can find it, I would say he and his crew chief would be those guys.
2000 Snowball Derby champion Ricky Turner as a driver. Turnco Motorsports have been here, and have also been very successful with Chase Elliott, with Chandler Smith, with Jake Garcia. Seth Christensen's their next driver they're putting on through. He's just announced he's one of the Fab 5 Underbirds in the Quickie Driver Development Program for Seth. So it's a pretty cool team they got cooking there. And Jake's, I'm sure, loving the chance to race with these guys again in the Super Lates.
Cole Butcher, one of the top competitors with the Tour over the last couple of seasons, has been very impressive, winning as many events. He and Ty Majeski leading the list of drivers winning events over the first 2+ seasons with the series.
I'm a stats guy. I'm a Nuggets guy. Cole Butcher here at this racetrack in the Snowball Derby. 6 straight races. Didn't miss he had all but one lap completed, which means he's going to finish top 5 in all those. His finish ratio here is amazing. Last year had some issues. I get it. But Cole Butcher knows this joint. He knows how to win these big races. I love talking to him after the Winchester 400, and here he's trying to put it together for this Sunshine State 200.
Send it back down to Charlie.
Yeah, guys, standing by with Nick Noggle, driver of the number 08. Nick, that car looked pretty solid so far here today. How's it been in the cockpit?
It's been pretty good. We unloaded pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. But now we're just working on some race pace stuff. We'd like to get a little bit more speed that way, just get a little bit more stability under the car. But I think all in all, we showed up with a good piece this weekend.
What's it going to take to put this thing up in the top 3 and maybe even steal a win here tomorrow?
It's a lot of preparation right now, making sure that we have a good enough piece come race time that we're able to save a bit of tire and make sure we have enough there at the end to go hard.
Nick Noggle, one of these drivers that is really starting to get the hang of this super late model stuff here, guys.
He's also a driver out of Nova Scotia that committed to racing pro late models and super late models in Florida during the World Series of Asphalt Stock Racing. That's a 9-day stretch with 6 or 7 races crammed in it. So he's been getting a lot of work when it comes to early preseason, if you call it, before he heads back to Canada to do more racing. So great to see Nicholas again here in Florida performing at a high level in super lates.
Watching Dustin Smith, the Alabama driver in the Augie Grill machine. He's struggling a little bit. That car was way sideways there in 2, so they're going to have to continue to adjust on it. Maybe make some changes for that final half-hour session that comes up later this evening to get ready for qualifying tomorrow. CorvetteParts.net qualifying session at 12 noon Central Time tomorrow.
Dustin Smith giving us a wave out the window. He's slowing it down to enter pit road of the bottom of turn number 3. That's kind of where the apron begins and pit road starts in a way. So glad to see he's down and safely out of the way. Right there is the number 20 Nicole Butcher, another Canadian out of Nova Scotia, 2-time international pro stock champ. And he's a fixture. He's going after this championship. Last year he had a planned procedure for a heart AFib issue. Took him out of the seat for a couple races. This team still did a great job with Gavan Boschele finishing 3rd twice in his absence. Cole's committed to run for the championship in every way, owner and driver in 2025. Let's go back to Charlie.
Yeah, guys, standing by with Dawson Sutton. How's that number 26 car been for you today?
It's been amazing. Started out the weekend really strong. Didn't have the greatest night last night at Homestead, but I think we're ready to finish it off with a good rest of the weekend here. You have a really fast race car, and hopefully we can continue to have a good day tomorrow.
So Homestead is a pretty abrasive racetrack. Tire wear is a big issue. Tire wear a big issue here as well. What's your plan for tomorrow? How are you going to keep tires on this thing for 200 laps?
Yeah, this place is a lot like just a mini Homestead. A lot of tire wear, and it's really abrasive, like you said. So keeping your tires on it, and it's a long race. So it's definitely just going to be a long one tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep, he had a struggle last night. Finished 23rd, ran 20-something most of the race. But I'm glad to see Dawson with a smile on his face being this quick in practice.
Absolutely top of the board right now, and that's a good place to be in this practice session here this afternoon. Probably very similar right now to the conditions that they're going to have a day from now. You're looking at race time just at 2 o'clock tomorrow. They'll be just about finishing the race tomorrow at this time.
A home race of sorts for this driver's team, Ben Kennedy Racing, based in the Daytona Beach area. We see the return 2 races into the season, the second time this year. We see Spencer Davis out of Dawsonville, Georgia, driving this number 96 machine for Ben Kennedy Racing. He's in a shop in North Carolina doing a whole lot of short track racing and getting other cars ready for other teams. And Spencer got a big win over the Easter Bunny 150 weekend at Hickory recently. So it's good to see that Spencer's back with us in a super. Racing again at Five Flags Speedway, track he used to race at quite a bit. Through like 2018, he ran the Derby every year for 5, 6, 7 years in a row.
Now we see Gavan Boschele, winner of New Smyrna's race, and pretty good earlier today in practice. Right now 16th, but I think what you see now, probably the earlier session at 12 noon, going to be very similar to the practice or the qualifying that takes place tomorrow. So maybe qualifying runs earlier today, maybe race runs in this session here today with more of a race trim. I would say would be probably what most of these competitors are doing right here.
And part of the scenario of this as well is you can buy tires. You have to buy tires to practice on. You have to qualify on stickers. There will be 6 new tires in the pits for the teams to use tomorrow. They also have the opportunity to have 2 what we call emergency tires that were used in practice on Saturday for Sunday's race if needed. There's a different set of scenario for that. If you use an emergency set of tires, it's going to cost you a lap, or you got to get approvals and all that fun stuff. But the idea is, like on Austin Nason's case, if he only has 2 laps on his practice tires and it's a mock run, he has some tires that don't have a lot of wear as his emergency 2 for tomorrow. So we have 6 tires in the pits, qualifying stickers, and those emergency ones are kind of set to the side. Only in emergency cases are they used.
Kyle Steckley, 4th fast right now for Rookie of the Year 1 season ago in that number 30 car. Matt Craig back out, turning plenty of laps. 17 laps he's completed in this session. We'll see who's turned the most. Casey Klein has been on track a lot. 25 laps for Klein, then Butcher Craig, 17 laps they've turned in this practice session. Getting some track time, working on their setup. Matt Craig right now in the 54.
Finished 10th in 2023 in the Sunshine State 200. Finished 5th here last year, did Matt Craig. It's amazing to see how many laps he gets to lead in these races, but he doesn't have a big gold trophy case to prove the speed he has, and they're bringing the speed again for Matt Craig out of North Carolina. And here's a driver that made a lot of people pay attention. This team based here has had a lot of success in the Snowball Derby. We've been reading about it since December when Caden Honeycutt took this car and this team to victory lane in the Snowball Derby. Cook Electric, the sponsor. Larry Brown's part of this deal. This number 21 team with J.C. Umchild and this driver, Caden Honeycutt, really were strong. Passing Ty Majeski late to win the 57th annual Snowball Derby. Caden ran last night at Miami, Homestead Miami Speedway as well. Finished 10th in his full-time drive for Nice Motorsports.
Carson Brown, one of the Campy cars, which are second and third right now. Howard second, Brown is third. I would say those cars are ready to go racing tomorrow.
If this is his full-time commitment, he's still saying, what else can I race? He raced off-road last year. This year, he said, I'm going to try a Trans Am TA2 car. Finished top 10 at Sebring. Did this young 16-year-old get the chance to race in a Trans Am TA2 car? So he's really taking every opportunity. He ran the Pro Lights last year here. He won a championship here last year. He also raced Pro Lights last year. As in off-road Pro 2 trucks. It's a big difference. And all that racing and variety, man, it's really clicking for him in this Anthony Campy team. Anthony is the man behind the wrenches on this 81 all season.
We're watching practice here for the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour. TrackTV.com tomorrow afternoon. Pre-race, 1 o'clock Central Time. Race time, 2 o'clock Central Time. If you can't make it to the track, if you can, get here. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow again. If you can't make it to the track, come join us on our coverage. TrackTV.com. Get a subscription for a month, and you're going to see a lot of great racing over the next month.
Yeah, and the bright sunshine tomorrow will be another beautiful day here. Upcoming events on Track TV, included with your Track TV subscription. We talked about all the ASA Stars races here. Well, guess what? The CRA late models at Shady Bowl will be racing here on Track TV, as well as the CRA Street Stocks. That's a big doubleheader in Shady Bowl. Have you been to that Ohio Speed Plant? I'm guessing a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually the event I work on every year. I mean, yeah, Shady Bowl for many years, actually. Called a lot of main event racing series events there with Outlaw late models. And then in the last 4 or so years, we've been doing Cabin Fever there for CRA. And that's kind of one of the events that I really concentrate on. And working with Rick Young, the promoter there, and making it happen each of the last few years. It's always a little bit trying with the weather, but we've actually been pretty fortunate with the weather there, and the crowd turns out for what is their season opener. And look, a left rear down on the 21 car. Wow. Derek Kraus had it earlier, and now here's Honeycutt. So what I'm wondering is if they're running such low pressure.
Starting low pressure.
Yes, starting low pressure.
Yeah.
That it's causing a flat. And that's what we've got with Caden Honeycutt, the winner of the Derby.
Caden did a couple of slow laps, deliberate slow laps to get up to speed. Perhaps it was a qualifying run, or perhaps it was a, hey, let's get these, let's get the car changes figured out. And he took a lot of deliberate effort to get up to speed. And a couple laps later, here he's in the backstretch with the tire down. Interesting. The left side tires of the ST1s, the change in the compound, I believe, from 2024 to this year, had been the right side ST3 compound. So that's interesting that the left rears are having some issues here for 2 of our drivers that have raced here a bunch. I also want to point out the fact that this racetrack, they did a lot of patching and improvements to the racetrack facility since last year. They actually were into the spring season. Some of the teams wanted to come here and get a couple laps in, but they weren't ready yet. So a lot of work has been done by the track to secure this racetrack and take out some of those nuances and bumps and get some nice patching and where it was needed. I don't think that's a contributing factor to this because it's everybody else is okay. Just a couple of guys had something with the left rears.
Yeah, just kind of rare that you would see Kraus with the left rear and now Honeycutt with the left rear here in practice or the Supers. So they will hook him up and take him pit side. He's stopped there in hopes of not tearing up the car. This practice scheduled to go until 4:25 this afternoon Central Time. So about 24 minutes left in this practice session.
I've got some homework to do.
Okay.
Between now and tomorrow. When we go qualifying at high noon Central Time tomorrow, I need to look at what the track record is here for ASA Stars. Last night, Robbie Harvey, the track PA guru here, just reminded me we had 4 track records set last night in the cool conditions here for the weekly divisions. So we talk about the track getting changed. This track has gotten speed built back into it, for sure.
And he goes into turn 1 and
wiggle.
And that left rear's down.
Yep. Wow. And the reason why he stopped the way he did, I want to say it's like I'm on a straightaway. Do I need to limp it back to the pits? No, because as soon as that tire may come apart, it starts whapping around in that fender well, and it could cause all sorts of damage. So smart move by Caden to lock her down. One more look here. Just going through turn 1 like normal. Watch him into turn 1. And it might be right about here, I think, already, where the left rear just lost air and lost traction. You can see the wiggle.
Yeah, it's kind of before he gets to the first corner, and he was able to woe it down and save it in the running. I'm sure such low air pressures in the left rear. And Honeycutt with the second flat left rear tire. So we'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah, Pat Jett and Larry Blount, those guys are smart. So is J.C. Umstride. I mean, they're right dialed in for this team, for Caden Honeycutt to race some more races. And it's great to see him making his ASA Stars debut at a track that has provided so many headlines for him just in the last couple of months.
So about 20 minutes left in practice. Dawson Sutton remains quickest. Colby Howard second. Carson Brown third. Kyle Steckley, Matt Craig rounding out the top 5. Looking for maybe some that step up in the top 10 that maybe we weren't expecting. How about how fast Jackson Boone has been? A late entry just came together like 2 days ago to make this happen in the Dello Feccio racing car. He's in the top 10, 7th quick right now in the 7 car.
So we saw Anthony Bello here last December in a Pro Late model fielded by the Nashville Pro Late Model champion, Dylan Feccio. This opportunity, Jackson's been racing against those guys a bunch in Supers and Pros. To see this team come together for Jackson and be that quick, that's impressive. Really impressive.
Yeah.
Dylan and his dad, I know, work really hard at it, and to see Jackson just kind of pick it up. We know Jackson has speed. Man, he's been fast. And what I think helps those two guys, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway and Five Flags Speedway have very similar, if not identical, Pro Late Model rules, and they've actually raced and done the distance driving between the racetracks to run a full season at each track. Dylan actually won track championships at both Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway and here at Five Flags in Pro Late Models in the same season.
Feccio, multi-time champion at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. What a good career just in as a young driver, now in his 20s.
Yeah, not even late 20s yet. He's doing some great things and getting opportunities like Jackson Boone to drive his car. Jackson Boone is a 25-year-old out of Franklin, Tennessee. Now a good look here with the drone shot. We'll have a lot of cool pictures like this to show you throughout our coverage tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time. The Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour race is going to happen tomorrow afternoon. We also see the Arkham and Arts cars being pushed through, so it's a big weekend. You still got time to come down and join us. And looking forward to seeing, again, this racetrack provides a lot of great racing, a lot of high-speed racing. And these cars are lined up to go out on practice. They're serious about getting some more laps in here before we get ready for what I would call maybe some shorter runs in the afternoon or used tire runs. This is when they get their good tires, their good runs, replicating the time 24 hours from now for in-race trim.
See the cars getting ready to come onto the track, led by the 7 of Jackson Boone, who we were just talking about. And he's going to be followed out by Bubba Pollard in the 26.
Yeah, so you can see the Vors Compact Touring cars are here as well. It's a pretty cool 3-day weekend we got planned. So if you're jonesing to go racing and you're like, man, what do I do next spring? Forget about spring. Come down here in wintertime. Enjoy this great weekend that's been built into something pretty cool with all these divisions racing in 3 consecutive days.
So Honeycutt leaving the window net up, maybe hoping they can get a tire on there and get him back out for some practice here.
Get me back in line, he's saying.
Let's send it down to Charlie, who's with Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, real quick, Caden, what happened out there?
Just blew the left rear. I don't know, maybe it's something that the air pressure we were in there, but we're all good, no damage, and we'll keep on going today. We should be all right.
All right, guys, Caden Honeycutt still feeling like he's got himself a good race car. They're going to keep an eye on that tire pressure on those left rears.
Jackson Boone on the gas. Holy cow, here he goes. The Hunter Ceiling fan number 7. He's on track. Practice continues. We're going to step away for a commercial break. You're watching our coverage of the ASA Stars National Tour from Five Flags Speedway. We'll be back in a moment.
Fire Suppression Solutions, proud sponsor of the ASA Stars National Tour.
We're the leader in race fuels. We've been doing this since in the 60s. We use our distillation tower, which is unique. No other race fuel companies do that in the world. We also test every single batch that goes out the door on over 15 different parameters that ensure the tune-up will be identical.
That consistency in the marketplace that makes us a premium brand.
Make the same stuff every time. We're pretty darn close to perfect.
NASCAR is returning to the historic Rockingham Speedway for 2 days of racing you don't want to miss. Friday, April 18th, the Black's Tire 200. See the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in person. Then a doubleheader on Saturday, April 19th. First, ARCA Menards Series East. And then the North Carolina Education Lottery 250 presented by Black's Tire. Witness Casey Kane make his big return as he races in the Xfinity Series. Be at the only NASCAR Races Easter weekend. Buy your tickets now at racetherock.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of the ASA STARS National Tour. We're at Five Flags Speedway, a track that a driver that Charlie Quarles with knows quite well and was pretty quick earlier and still is top 10 in speeds, Charlie.
Yeah, Stephen Nasse. Now, you are uncharacteristically quick in practice here, but
we have Jackson Boone on the racetrack. Stephen Nasse, no doubt, is going to make one more crack at it and see him run. And he's another fan favorite. There's T-shirts here. They're selling down at GJ's Speed Zone with all the official apparel for the series. And it's got a lot of fan following across the country. And he is committed to racing every ASA STARS National Tour races. Stephen Nasse in 2025 as an ASA Platinum driver presented by Rackley Roofing and Track Enterprises. It's a pretty cool program for these 15 teams to lock in, and we're going to race them all year.
Oh, it's so nice going to an event knowing that you've got 15. I mean, Dominion, we're up over 20 cars already, and that race is a couple weeks away. So that's going to be a fun one. Dominion Raceway, first visit for the series there, coming up on Saturday, April 5th. If you can make your way to the racetrack for that one, it's a beautiful facility.
If you're just joining us on our coverage, it's a free live look-in. We encourage you to join us tomorrow on demand or by watching live on tracktv.com. The only place you can watch this race live is tracktv.com. We saw that the number 7 of Jackson Boone is now sharing the racetrack and letting the 14 of Austin Nason in the car corner floor go past. So, Austin, if you're just joining us at the very top of our show, is kind of waiting for practice to kind of get that ASA Hoosier rubber back on the racetrack with the other divisions racing here this weekend.
Nason just outside of the top 10 in this practice session. 11th right now for the Illinois driver. Dustin Smith still working in that 112 as Nason goes around him on the backstretch. Fastest right now, Dawson Sutton, the teenage driver from Lebanon, Tennessee.
And Austin's got a busy racing season, getting more involved with the family business, Nason Landscaping, and his son has really been doing a lot of racing and some traveling now in go-karts, so that's taking up a lot of his free time. But I'm glad to see he's committed to the ASA STARS National Tour this year for the driver who's raced and won a couple of those the National Short Track Championships at his home track, Rockford Speedway. Now under full development. Track's gone away, and Austin's committed to this schedule, but man, it's great to see that he is able to put it together with everything else he's got going on to race with this full time.
Nicholas Nagel, who was quickest in first practice earlier today, right now 25th in this practice. So probably just a change of plans, different strategy, maybe trying different things on the 08 cars. Cole Butcher, we saw him earlier on the track, of course, winning this race a year ago, but watch this car make its way through the corner, right down on the yellow line, if not below it. That car is cornering well for Cole Butcher.
And to give you further insights, the left side tires, when they get to that yellow line, at the yellow line is where the banking ends. The left side of that yellow line, it's flat. The line itself is painted on the banking, so he's going below, right here in turn 1, below that painted yellow line, so he's actually dancing with that left side literally on the apron.
And he is on it through turn 1 and 2. Here they use more of a diamond arch in turns 3 and 4. They kind of diamond off the corner, middle, go up the banking about a half a lane, but that car looks like it's cornering well for Cole Butcher. One of the favorites this weekend, no doubt. Driver from Canada, a lot of experience here. He's had front row starting spots in the Snowball Derby, has yet to win the Derby, but year in and year out, one of the favorites.
I believe Cole Butcher is going to be a driver to watch every race this year. We saw him how good he was at Hickory last year. We saw how good he was here last year. It's just, I think the mindset is right. Yes, he's a full-timer in the series again this year, but I think that team is the benchmark. That driver has become the benchmark in this series. And now all the other drivers that said we've done this a few times, now we're back full time, all the time, they're still chasing this red 28 car, I think, for the 2025 season. On track is a 16-year-old driver, Ty Fredrickson out of Minnesota. And as he makes his laps around, he's another driver committed to the ASA STARS National Tour full-time as a platinum driver and also racing for that Rookie of the Year honor this year, sponsored by Pepper Jack Kennels. We have a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, but guess what? Next time you hear us is tomorrow during the race time. On behalf of Charlie Crowell, Adam Mack, and our entire production crew, we're going to send off the free look-in now and encourage you right now to watch live or on demand. Subscribe to tracktv.com. Qualifying at high noon tomorrow, racing at 1 o'clock for the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA STARS National Tour. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.